walks in the back and she walks.
See, I don't want to be in this video.
She
I don't want
walks
to be in this video. I'm from Queens.
She walks in the back and she already starts laughing at herself while she's walking back. She's like,
she's literally such a dose.
Does anybody laugh at their jokes more than Andriana?
No, zero people.
Yeah,
she was doing that all day today.
She's like, what am I doing?
Welcome back to episode 9. Let me go ahead and start this here.
Welcome back to Jim's Internet Sucks, edition 8 or 9.
Yes,
there you go.
Yeah. Welcome back to
you guys. I thought I was going to do the intro.
Oh yeah, okay, go. Sorry.
All right, do the intro.
Hey guys. Welcome into episode 9. It's nice to see you.
His internet's barely hanging on.
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Jim Cellini. I guess I'm a doctor.
God, I don't know what is he doing?
These are my brothers, Dr. Michael and Dr. Thomas Cellini. Also,
I can't even allow this to go on.
Michael,
I hope his internet cuts out.
They're radiologists. They like to look at images of patients. And
this is like the
okay,
Bobby
let's
Lee.
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Kyle Dunnigan's podcast or intro.
Yeah, welcome back to episode 9 on Cellini Rounds. We're almost to episode 10, which means we almost need 1,000 subscribers.
Yes. We're getting about 1 subscriber a day, and it needs to go faster.
Yeah. By this pace, this time next year we'll have 1,000 subscribers.
Look what I just found.
Please, if you're
no product placement in the great state of Jersey.
Is that a Happy Dad?
Yeah. Have you had one?
No, I haven't. I just heard about him.
This would be my.
What is a Happy Dad?
My live taste test.
What is it? Beer?
That's pretty good. It's a alcoholic seltzer or whatever.
Wow.
Not that bad.
There you go. What flavor is it?
This is watermelon.
Oh, that's a good flavor.
Good for you, Michael. Hey, good for you.
All top tier flavors.
You know, and it also.
I'm surprised after the Masters this weekend, he's not eating pimento cheese sandwiches and egg salad sandwiches.
I thought about
white bread.
I did.
What's the cocktail that they have at the Masters they use?
I don't know. It's something that's not that good, but they hype it up because it's at the Masters.
It's in a tiny plastic cup.
They put a tiny plastic cup and they put a red cherry on it.
Everyone's like, whoa, the South.
No, well drinks. I'm back in college.
Surprisingly,
it's not well.
Living in Jim and I lived in Augusta. I was born in Augusta, and surprisingly, none of us have been to the Masters ever. I don't even think.
It's almost like we couldn't afford it.
Well, I think it's. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we never get offered. Usually, people just get offered tickets. I guess
you have to get invited, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's like families have tickets that there's like this lottery, and you basically it stays in your family for as long as someone's gonna correct me on this, but it's like. Stays in the family forever. You just pass it down unless they just decide to get rid of the tickets, which like no one ever does. So you basically have to know someone who has family tickets or it's like loaded and they can just give you be like, hey, you want to go to a practice round? You're like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think I actually got invited to a practice round one time and I couldn't make it. Surprise, surprise. Just maybe I worked in medicine and couldn't make it.
They're like, hey, just leave in the middle of the week. And you're like, I can't.
Yeah.
You're like,
and I don't have my private jet. You guys saw those pictures with all the lines of private jets on the Augusta runway. It's so sick
down there. Did you
pure wealth?
Jim, which one was yours?
Oh, Jim, where were you born again? I literally was telling Caitlin that Michael was born in Augusta. And she was like, that's right, Athens. Yeah. I was like, I thought it was Athens. I just couldn't remember. I was like, what, were you born that long? Were they still living there? Then
I don't. What?
Like our parents were still living in Athens at the time. I didn't realize they were still living there from. Then they moved to Augusta after that.
Right.
His dad used to sell to Augusta National.
Did he?
Did he
sell food and stuff?
So when he worked for Cisco, he said he used to sell to Augusta National. So you can go in the back way to like the kitchens and stuff like that.
No wonder the food costs $1.
So maybe that's why he didn't see, or he didn't actually see the good part of it.
Yeah, so he would go into like the kitchen and stuff, and
like
the chefs and like all the people that would order the food because he was selling like utensils and like food sale. He wasn't selling like perishable products, but like napkins, things like that. Yeah,
he was
sailing. Did I say sale? Yeah. He was sailing down there in Augusta.
Yeah, he was sailing down there, but we never went down there. But I was watching a lot of the Masters this past weekend because I had an excuse. I was on call. I couldn't leave my couch. I had to be nearby. I was reading MRIs in between, and I was feeling a little nostalgic about the golf we used to play, and I want to play more.
Yeah, you always like golf.
I did too.
Yeah,
my best friend growing up, Josh, shout out Josh Hunter, owner of my Tour. He was a golfer on our high school golf team, and me and him used to go out and play like every single weekend up until my senior year in college.
Yeah,
it was awesome. I remember I shot it I made one birdie my entire life on a par 3 because I absolutely just stroked like a 7-iron off the tees.
God, there's nothing better.
Oh, and then I just got super lucky. It was right by the hole, and then obviously I 2-putted. Or no, I made the putt.
So you birdie.
It was like an 8-foot putt that miraculously went in. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah, there's 2 holes I remember. I must have played 1,000 holes, more than that, like in my life. And then there's 2 holes I remember that, and then when I was putting for eagle and I 5-putted. Like I was legitimately putting for an eagle. Like I. When you play golf, you'll be like, 99% of the time, if you're like me, you're just like slice, like it goes everywhere.
Yeah.
And then you're just, mulligans, then you just like have to find a new ball, and then you have to get your golf ball retriever out, and then you just start finding balls in the water, and you're like, oh, let me just start hunting for balls.
You're like, I shouldn't even play. I should just search for balls.
Yeah, I should just search for balls for no reason.
Yeah, like I don't know if it was like the moon and the sun and the gravitational pull of the earth, but it all aligned, and I crushed a drive, and then I crushed an approach shot on a par 5. Shout out to Cobblestone Public Golf Course in Georgia.
God, that golf course is so good.
Oh, I was fast, man.
I was putting from like 20 feet, something like that, for an eagle, like a legitimate eagle. And my friend Josh was like, dude, Jim, you're about to make an eagle. Like, I've never seen this because we were like, 14, 15.
Yeah.
And that was like 5-putt, just like wouldn't go in. And I was like, and then my friend's dying laughing.
Dude, I was about to say, I bet Josh was losing his mind.
He was holding his putter going, oh my god, like just laughing.
God, I can imagine that place. I mean, Cobblestone. Cobblestone was like our hometown golf course, and it was like, I think it was $5 to play a round of 5 for.
No,
if you're under 18. It was like $5.
It was like 20 to walk.
It was more than that because I remember
$5.
Like
I thought it was a $5.
Yeah.
No, $5.
Golf course. There's no golf course in the world.
Twilight golf.
No,
with a student high school whatever card was like $5 for a round of 9.
They used to do,
but that wasn't this place.
Yeah, there was a couple around like Kennesaw where you could walk 18. And it was $18 at certain times, and you could get you play full 18 for $18. It was $1 hole.
I remember it being about $20 and being like, okay, I could it hurts, but I'll make that work.
Yeah.
But the pro shop, if I didn't know where to get golf balls from.
Yeah.
Right. And I didn't have clubs. My clubs were like individual clubs that Josh would give me, or I would find, or I think I bought one. I bought a putter maybe. One club.
Because there's no Amazon
Odyssey,
where you just buy
putter.
a set of balls off of. They're cheap.
Yeah, and then Mom bought me a set of clubs that were like $200 in sometime in very early high school, and I was like, "Oh, this is nice," and I'm set. But the balls, when you're not good at golf, you go through 50 golf balls in a 9-hole round. And you're I'm not even kidding, because you can't if you're teeing off, those holes where you tee off and the fairway curves and then the green is in front of you. So if you just drive it over the water, it's fine.
Yeah.
But if you don't know what you're doing, I mean, you'll slice it into the water literally every time.
Oh yeah.
That you
100 times out of 100.
And that's what I get really stubborn when I get frustrated like that. So I just keep I just keep trying over and over again, like a psychopath. I won't go off the tee.
Just drop it up at the green.
Yeah. And I remember trying to find where I could find cheap golf balls. And this is basically pre-internet. There was no Amazon.
Yeah.
This is 1998.
We're doing it.
The only place to buy golf balls is Dick's Sporting Goods.
That's right.
Range.
Yeah.
And then the
that
clubhouse
range by our house.
And then the range. So sometimes
old range balls.
Yeah, so sometimes we like steal golf driving range balls and just take them with us, and they were like
I wouldn't
really,
say,
really
steal because you pay for them.
Oh,
To do,
the
then you
driving
just,
range
you just
balls?
borrow
the
them
driving
'cause
range balls.
Oh
They
yeah,
stay-
I
they
popped two
stay-
of those in my bag every time I get off the. I'm like, these are
Right.
gonna go in the water anyway,
So
so it doesn't
you
matter.
pay like $10 or whatever it was for like 100 driving range balls, and you put them
Yeah.
in your bag and go play.
Yeah.
After that,
God, I used to get
'Cause it's
made
like-
fun of all the time for that.
those balls
Yeah,
are
like, you need
garbage,
it.
by the way.
they're like,
the
yeah,
worst
yeah.
balls known to man.
but we used
Worst
to call them
balls.
bullets because like we needed ammo for
I
like
would-
the course.
I would steal a couple of them, put them in my bag, and be like, bust them out. And
Yeah.
so Jared and I, which shout out to Jared again. we used to
9
go-
episodes in a row.
I swear to God, this is
Yeah.
true. Jared and I used to play golf every day between between swim practices in the summer. So we
Oh
go to
my
morning
God.
practice, we'd go get our golf clubs, and we'd walk 9 or 18, then we go to practice again. And obviously, that second practice was an
Yeah, I'm sure
absolute
you were
abomination.
on point.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I mean, we didn't make a single interval. And Ian's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just maybe walked 18 holes of golf just now
Well,
in the Georgia heat."
Yeah.
But
Nothing says recovery like 18 holes of golf at 100-degree weather in Georgia.
put a pin in that story because I know I got to tell a story about that silver situation.
oh God, so we used to go between practices, and so we would sneak on to Marietta Country Club on the second hole. They had like 2 courses. They built the second one, and we'd sneak onto the second hole of the second course and just like avoid the marshal, and no one ever covered it. Ooh, nice. And our friend Davis was a member. His family was a member there, but like you still have to pay if you're going to be like a guest.
Where is this?
It's Marietta Country Club.
Oh yeah.
And so Jared and I would sneak on to Marietta, and anytime they would like
premiere.
no one ever questioned us except for one time, but we had Davis's like code or whatever. So they have like a member ID, and we just give them the member ID, and they'd be like, "Oh, okay, all right, see you later." I'd be like, "I'm Davis Lisi." But we used to use the range balls because Jared, he would make fun of me every time because I was hit those off the tees, any water hole. He'd be like, "I'm using a range ball because this thing's going in the drink or going so far into someone's yard." Like, I'm not.
But
What am I going to spend $4 and lose that golf ball instantly?
for those of you who don't play golf or don't know, but the range balls are, they're old and they've just been hit over and over again, and they're like dented. They're terrible, and it's just not. They're just horrendous balls. They're just
Yeah.
beat up.
Oh,
They don't fly.
They're
They're not
like
even made of
the
good
entire
quality.
middle part. They're like the worst substance on the inside. Is Jim frozen, by the way? Look at this.
Probably. Yeah.
I mean, this guy's
Okay.
internet. He's not even talking. His internet.
We're gonna have to stop this for a second. Jim, he's frozen.
I mean, look at that. Look at his stupid face. All right,
All right,
maybe
and we're back.
from the thing. Yeah.
And we're back. Jim's
God.
internet is phenomenal.
I mean,
Jim's internet, for
please.
those listening at home, Jim's internet is so bad it couldn't even run an internet test. That's how
Yeah.
bad his internet is.
My internet has dad bod.
Yeah, I'd say so. Jeez, I mean,
Yeah,
nothing
so-
makes me
so-
more angry than
Oh,
slow internet.
Michael's been fuming over here.
Any
for
sort
that.
of
I know.
delay, I hate delays.
I know.
I mean, anyways, where
I
were
mean,
we? We were
all I can do is apologize and just promise that I'll learn
God.
from this and I'll move on, like move forward.
I mean, if you
All
don't
right, what
call
were we
the
talking
internet
about?
company tomorrow, yeah, okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
we were talking about
You
golf
know,
balls.
I
and
understand
God,
I made
shut
some mistakes
up.
in the past.
Can I mute you as the administrator?
God,
Oh, I can.
maybe it's
mute
better
you.
when he's frozen. Yeah.
I can mute him. Sweet. Anyways, we were talking about golf balls, and I actually had this problem recently because I played golf. Well, I played golf for the first time probably 6 or 7 months ago, before it got like super cold, and that was the first time I played in probably like 5 years, like legit 5 years. I mean, I still had it. I still like. You don't lose your swing, which is crazy to me. I still got it.
Still had it.
No, you
Yeah.
didn't.
I mean, I wasn't good, but like the fact that I could still play and drive straight-ish and like
Yeah.
actually like play like 2 to 3 over per hole, like that's not bad for not playing for 5 years.
I
Yeah,
think it
it's
was like
actually-
5 or 6 over a hole.
Probably
Who
not.
was?
Yeah. right.
It's a pretty simple
You
course.
probably shoot. I mean, you can shoot like around like slow greens like that. You can shoot around like 100 as long as you're not like horribly
Yeah.
uncoordinated.
No, for sure. I think shooting under 100 is very difficult for people
Yeah.
who don't
Oh,
golf
yeah.
all the time.
It took me years to get under 100, and then I was like, I mean, obviously now it's terrible, but all right,
Yeah.
continue.
But no, I was saying is that time, like that was the first time I haven't played golf since I have been able to afford golf balls. Put it that way.
Right.
So like I bought like a 40 pack and I was like, oh, I'll probably lose these. But like, and golf balls are expensive. For those of you who don't know, golf balls are expensive.
Yeah.
So
And, like-
before my internet cut out, I was going to tell a story about how I bought a pack of Titleist balls for like 50, 60 bucks for no reason. I just decided I was going to like use nicer balls because that would help me. Right.
Yeah. No, I'm sure.
And I ended up going through the entire box within one round.
Oh,
And I remember by the end, I was so mad. I just threw $60 into the water, basically.
I mean, it's literally like you threw $60, just be like, I'm just gonna stuff
Yeah.
this in a drain somewhere and never
and
be seen again.
By the way, welcome to the way I spend money.
Yeah. Impulse buy. Impulse buy.
When I buy things, sometimes I have Jim Cramer's voice in my head going, buy, buy, buy.
Yeah, so the last time I still have, so I actually bought, I think I bought like 48 balls or whatever, and I still have like 4 sleeves in my closet from that day. So, and that was the first time I played golf in a long time. So I mean, I consider that a success.
Do you have a golf course near you? I assume
Tons,
you do, right?
tons,
Yeah.
tons.
He lives in New Jersey.
Yeah, there are tons of golf courses, like good golf courses.
You realize how many old
Yeah.
Italian men like to play golf in their 50s and 60s?
That's true.
Yeah, tons.
And white beaters and gold
Yeah.
chains around their necks.
Wife beaters.
Swinging golf.
Hey, Tommy, we getting some Penny Island vodka after this round, or what are we going to do?
Let Jim's frozen after his comment.
I know. Jim's like,
mean-
I'm out. I'm frozen now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I left the old ball and chain at home.
God, like he can't even give
I
a
know.
joke because he's so frozen.
I'm gonna for the thumbnail. I'm just gonna whatever his freeze frame face is. I'm gonna make that the thumbnail. It'll
Yeah,
be
you should.
Chili Rounds episode 9.
I mean, I'm losing interest with Jim's internet.
Yeah, let's just kick it off and be the Two Cellini Brothers podcast.
Yeah,
Jeez.
that's what you might have to do. Hey, so the thing about golf is, I don't know.
Oh, God.
Well, so yeah, I was just saying is since I was pretty inspired by the Masters. We went to Topgolf. Today was the first time we went to Topgolf in my life.
Is that your first time?
Yeah, ever.
Dude, it's the best.
Yeah, it's like
so much fun.
I've
Have
never
you
been.
Yeah, it's like a cult like following Topgolf is. You know, what I mean,
It's so much fun.
yeah. And I took Andriana, and she's never played golf before, and she was like, it was so funny because teaching someone like how to hold a club, it's so counterintuitive, you know. And she's like, why do you hold it like that? She's like,
You're
why
like,
do
"I
you
don't know."
interlock your fingers? Like, why do you hold it like this? She's like, it makes no sense. I'm like, and then like after a couple of swings, she's like, and then she like tried it with not holding the club like that. She goes, you know, it makes sense when you hold it like that now.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I think it's to like create one unit between your fingers. Is the
Yeah,
goal.
just
It's
like- just
both
like-
hands are a single unit.
Yeah, your arm is just like the club is an extension of your left arm. You know.
Yeah. So is she good or is she like just
No, I mean it's her
top
first time
balls?
ever swinging a golf club in her life.
Really?
Yeah,
How's she never
ever.
like swung a golf club before?
never. I just think people just if you don't do it or not around it, then I mean there's no golf courses in Queens, you know,
Yeah, I guess
Right.
that's true.
or Manhattan.
She'd probably be a better caddy than a golfer.
Probably. I was actually going to go play at a local place over here, and I was just gonna bring her along in the cart. I feel like she would just enjoy it
Oh yeah.
because
You're just hanging out, drinking cocktails, and like
I
out
think
in the
if
sun.
Liz and I go down, if we can go down and leave the daughter here, I think I would love to like go golf the
Mhm.
4 of us.
100%. And my
Well, I just won't come.
one of my colleagues I play with, his wife works from home, and last week he was off. This week I'm off, and he went to the course on like a Wednesday, and she just like brought a laptop and worked while he like played golf all the time.
Oh, so I use like a hotspot.
That'd be
and just
great.
like,
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's perfect. She's like,
Yeah.
yeah, she didn't mind. It was a beautiful day, you know, and I just, you know, played a nice game of the links, and that was that.
yeah.
It was
Like
cool.
swinging it. See, I'd be down
Andriana
with
would totally
I
do
think-
that.
Oh yeah. Caitlin golfs actually. So she'd be down with just the two of us like going out because her dad golfs all the time. Like he's in a golf league, like basically as soon as the weather turns, he's in a golf league. Like every Thursday he goes golfing with like his friends up here, like out in the suburbs.
Can I tell a story that you're gonna have to edit out, Michael?
No.
Okay.
But I almost bought a set of clubs. Almost. I was really close. But I
Callaway?
didn't. Yeah. These
I knew
Callaway
it.
Callaway
I
clubs.
would have bet anything that you would have
Why?
bet Callaway.
The only reason I say that is because
I can tell what brands you like. I know what brands of like stuff like that go through your head.
That's a
I haven't looked at.
You've seen Phil Mickelson and like a Big Bertha driver, and
like,
I know that's in.
He's like,
No,
ooh, I want that.
But the Big Bertha drivers,
He's like in Napoleon Dynamite when that guy's selling ships in a bottle to the like.
No, she's selling a
rural
Tupperware.
couple.
Yeah,
the Tupperware.
Yeah, she goes, ooh, I want that.
I want that.
Well,
he goes, break it. Try to break it. He's like, I can't.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason I want the Callaways is because last time I played, I just rented a set of golf clubs at the course. Because apparently a lot of courses just have sets you can rent out.
Yeah.
Dude, do you remember that wooden driver we had?
Yeah, it's terrible. Terrible.
We had a wooden driver from like
brutal.
Scotland in late 1800s.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Scotland.
Or those big poofed hats on like the whatchamacallit hats.
The Payne Stewart look.
Yeah. There you go.
I love that look.
Yeah, dude. Before Mom bought me clubs, I used to have to use that wooden driver.
Oh God. Did Josh make fun of you for that?
So embarrassing.
Turns out a Big Bertha driver is a little.
Oh, there you go.
There it is. There it is.
Can't ever go too long. This is why Jim can't tell stories on the podcast.
Yeah, you can't tell stories. Jim, you're just gonna have to hang around in the background.
Yeah.
I'll tell short stories.
Yeah, good. So the real reason I wanted Callaway was because they gave me them and I played with them and I loved them. So
yeah,
that was that. I played with like the last year model set, which I've been trying to find the last year's model, like 2021 set, like because they're a little cheaper. I don't need like the new 2022 set. Like who the hell cares? You know, I'm definitely not good enough to get that. But then they just like wipe them off the face of the earth. I can't find them anywhere.
I think what happens is people buy them and either keep them for a while or they like resell them on those like Facebook Marketplace and shit like that.
Oh, I should look
people
there.
just
That's a good point.
Yeah. Because someone's gonna be selling old golf clubs that are like 3 years old and they're like, yeah, I just wanted a new set. And they're like, boom, there you go. Here's a
I don't
$2,000 set that's $300.
Yeah, I don't need the latest tailor-made $800 driver.
Yeah,
it's like TVs.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. It's not like it's going out of style or like you're gonna be able to tell the difference. Dude, I had a set of I saved up and bought a set of ping golf clubs, like a iron set or something like that back in high school when Jared and I were golfing a ton. And this is like 4 or 5 years ago. Mom sold them at a yard sale when she was like getting ready to move to California. She sold them for like $25.
She sold all of our clubs.
Yeah, she sold every single set of clubs. Didn't give us a single set of it. She just kept like the $25. She goes, I was like, where are my golf clubs? I was like, I wanted to bring them with me when I moved. She was like, I sold those. I was like, can I get the money? She's like, no. I was like,
how about
okay?
How about my car? She sold it for $800.
When?
Blue Jeep?
I had a lifted 1988 Jeep Cherokee, an XJ.
Yeah.
That I had lifted tires on. Everything. Like I had it like it was awesome.
Yeah.
She sold it for $800.
I mean, how fast would you buy that Jeep if it was $800 offered to you right now?
I would give them double.
I would buy it right now.
I would literally go to the bank and be like, give me 5 minutes, I'll come back with all that money.
Yeah. And it was like this old classic 80s Jeep, sort of like rugged, just beater that you would drive around town that I would love to have right here.
Oh, you could go over any mud.
Yeah.
It's just and it comes equipped with just a soundtrack of Rush.
That too.
Yeah.
Just constantly playing.
I put a Flowmaster on that Jeep, Jim.
When you start it, it goes Tom Sawyer, Moving Pictures, 1982.
Oh God. That Jeep is so sick to have.
I put tires that were too big on it, and when I turned too far to one left or right, it would go dun, 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 and like start bumping up against the wheel housing.
Yeah,
because my tires were too big.
You had to shave the housing down.
Yeah,
I did. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Trim your fenders, bro.
Jim, you remember you were putting the lift kit on the Jeep with Uncle Robert? It was me, you, and Uncle Robert were there. We were like, we couldn't. There's like some control bar or something, and like the Jeep
control
had
arm
down. Yeah, control arm, and we couldn't. I remember this till the day I die. I don't know how I remember this, but we spent hours trying to figure it out. And Uncle Robert was like, "Shit, I'm just gonna get the like the pressure thing," and he just like pushed it back with his pressure thing and fixed it into place. He was like, "God damn, son, I don't know why we didn't do that earlier." Shit, son.
He pretended there was a metal shaving stuck in his butt, and he goes, Jimmy, you got to get it out. It's hurting too bad. I'm like, oh my god, dude. He goes, Jimmy, I got it's in my ass. You got to get it. I was like, oh my god. So it's like this little like metal thing stuck in his like butt cheek, and so I was like, I know what you're gonna do. I pulled it out. He goes, damn, Jimmy, I can't believe you did that.
That's hilarious.
Oh god, that's such an Uncle Robert thing to do. This is so ridiculous.
Yeah, we did a lot of work on our cars.
To those watching and listening and have no idea who we're talking about. So we have a redneck side of our family. It's all Southerners from Alabama and Georgia. And we have an Italian side, our namesake side of our family.
Yeah.
Okay. The mechanical stuff, like lifting a Jeep, that is the redneck side of our family.
Facts.
Just to summarize. So
yeah. And we used to work on our Jeeps. So we all had Jeeps, like 4-wheel drive Jeeps. We would lift them, put big tires on them. We would work on them. I changed the transmission in one of my Jeeps. Like we did a lot of stuff over there.
Yeah. Because he had like a full shop.
Yeah, full shop.
I worked as a vet tech for an entire summer. And at the end of the summer, like in early August before school started, I spent like $3,500 buying a lift kit and like stuff to put on my Jeep. And we just sat in the garage for like 3 days and put it on.
How much you spend?
Like over $3,000. Because I remember buying it and Uncle Robert had to like help me out. And like he covered like the last couple hundred because I didn't have anything.
Wait, I can't believe you spent that much. I feel like everything I did was well under $800 for like everything.
I had a job. And I would just work overtime. I literally worked nonstop for 2 months. And I was picking up overtime. Back then, if I hit overtime, I was making like $24 an hour or something like that for my job.
Yeah, it's huge.
So I mean, when you're in high school,
yeah,
come on,
big time.
Like,
yeah,
that's more than I make now as a resident. For Christ's sake.
Yeah, probably. And anyway, so yeah, I was able to build it up in like a couple paychecks. Now I should have lived off of that.
Yeah, I was like,
is what I should have done.
Instead, I modified my Jeep.
Yeah, but like the smart financial person that I am, I decided to modify. Yeah, buy. I decided to not sell my car.
To keep
because you're stupid.
I did that, and then 4 years later, I paid $150,000 to go to veterinary school. So that was pretty sick.
Yeah, sweet. Wait, I still can't believe you spent $3,000 on what did you? Maybe I kind of gathered my stuff. I had a lot of friends in that world, so I would like trade them. I think I got like all my tires
back in the day.
I got like all my tires for free.
Yeah, that's right. You did get your tires for free.
I think I paid I legit paid I think $400 for the lift kit.
Yeah,
and then I paid the rims were those like steel. They're like heavy steel rims, 15-inch rims. They're like $50 a piece. So I paid $200 for that. That was like $600 is nothing, and we put all the lift on ourselves, and that's that. It was the easiest thing.
I think I bought a CD player in there too. That might have been part of it.
Yeah.
I would put CDs in. I had my CD wallet in the bottom of the door with the first, I don't know how many sleeves of the wallet was every single Rush album.
Yeah. Kids don't understand about that.
I don't remember many guys in lifted Jeeps listening to Rush like I did, but hey, that's my mark.
What are you gonna do?
The CD wallet.
Speaking of like financial stuff, I was I was working with one of my attendings the other day, and he was telling about he's got 7 children. I think he's got a bunch of kids. They range from like I think like late 20s, early 30s to like down in like just in high school.
Jeez.
And his sons.
Wow.
So they caddy, which tie back into the golfing, is they caddy every summer, So they caddy a really nice golf course, and it's like they make a ton of money caddying. He's like, it's great because it's like you get to interact with people that are like successful in business. It's like you learn how to talk with people because you have to like speak with adults all the time. It's like you're walking 18 holes all the time. And it's like they use their money. He like basically finagles it where he's like, you got to use your money. Like you use some of it to help pay for your school because they go to private schools and like college and stuff like that. You got to give some of it like living off of, and then some of it's just like for fun money, and then they give like a small portion of charities. Like basically made this deal with his kids, and one of his kids, he made like a ton of money over the summer. He was like, what the hell? He's like, how did you make so much money? He was like, can I just keep all the rest of this for my like myself to play with? And he's like, no, absolutely not. He goes, if you talk to my financial advisor, and he was like, and he can help you. He was like, and you come up with a plan as like the best plan of option. He's like, you can use that money however you want. So he actually like, he didn't even know about it. 2 weeks later, he comes back. He actually went to go, his son met with his financial advisor. He opened up like a Roth IRA. He's been like maxing out his Roth IRA from like age 17 on, just from his like stuff. And he's like, yeah, he told me, he's like, I'll have like $2 million by the time I'm like 40. I can like do anything I want. And he was like, I was like,
you don't need that much. I mean, you max out, it's $6,000 a year. That's it.
Like, God, I was like, what is, he was like, yeah, he's like very like, he's like, that son is very smart and like forward thinking with all that stuff. He was like, he doesn't waste money on things. He's just like, I was like, God, that's the absolute opposite of what buying a lift kit on your Jeep is.
Yeah. I mean, that's different. I mean, $600 versus $6,000 in a Roth IRA is completely different, but
yeah, that's true. But
you know,
but
I'm still like, well, for starters, I don't even think my dad even knew what a Roth IRA was, or still doesn't know what a Roth IRA is. I had to learn that on my own. Maybe probably like 4 years ago, I learned that on my own.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. And I did a video on that. I didn't even start investing in my Roth IRA until 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So, you know,
dude, if no one tells you, how are you supposed to know?
Yeah. And plus, you can't. Technically, Jim and I make too much money to invest in a Roth IRA, so you have to do like a back to a Roth. So there's that. So I'm definitely delayed on that, but I don't know how you're supposed to like invest. They always told me that in residency. Maybe you've heard that too, Tommy. It's like you should invest in your Roth IRA in residency. I'm like, I don't have when I was in residency, I didn't have $6,000 I could put in a Roth IRA.
Yeah, until basically about 12 months ago, people would be like, or just in general, they're like, yeah, put this much into your this and this. I'm like, what am I supposed to eat with? And just out of curiosity, like, use that money to pay rent.
Yeah, if I sell my car.
Yeah, it's like I live in an expensive city, like an urban city. It's like everything's expensive. I get paid nothing. I'm like, what am I supposed to be like? What am I supposed to do here?
Yeah, like how am I supposed to buy my $10 pints of Jenny's ice cream?
Well, it's more like if I do anything in the city, it's like, I spend $10 on parking for 2 hours, and it's like I do this. It's like everything costs so much money in a city that it's like just gets rinsed away. I mean,
have you guys gotten your tax returns back yet?
Not yet, no.
No, I talked to them yesterday. They said, well, we may have to file an extension. We're trying to get to the end of it, but it's taking longer than we anticipated.
Sweet.
Last thing I need is an extension.
Sounds like you need a new accountant.
I do need a new accountant. That's for certain. But the problem is I haven't found one. I just moved to this area, and it's like, it's hard to, I didn't start thinking about finding a new accountant until like February. And I was like, well, it's probably too late for that.
Yeah, that sucks.
So, and then a lot of them are expensive, man. Like very expensive, like a couple $1,000,
When you got a bunch of stuff going on, it's hard to, you got more work.
When it becomes an issue, when like it's good and bad, because then, when you start dabbling a whole bunch of other things and investments and business and stuff, then it's like your taxes are not easy to do. And then it just takes more effort. They say more money, more problems.
Yeah, something like that. So stupid. Hey, Jim, tell a really long-winded story. Could you do that for us?
That I can cut out?
Yeah.
Hold on, can I tell a story that I was putting a pin in? But I know
I was just about to say that.
I know I've told you guys this story before, but I have to tell it again because I just love it so much. And like Tommy was saying, is he used to play golf in between his swim practices. So when I was a swimmer at Georgia in the summer, so you finish NCAAs in March, and then technically you're not supposed to start again until September when the whole college season starts back up again. So you have the entire summer of just purely exhibition. You have maybe a nationals swim meet, which I didn't care about because it's not collegiate swimming. So it's just like nonsense
So
meets.
well, hold on. Let me put my drink down before we break this news. You didn't care about this?
Correct. So when I was in college,
Meanwhile, for the listeners, this is like a prestigious meet. Michael's like, couldn't care less about this meet.
well, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, like people literally devote their lives to what he's talking about right now.
No,
He's like, well, I didn't care about it. I had a Dave Matthews concert to go to.
well, let me backtrack here. So
It may be true.
yeah, so swimming was very difficult, and it was nonstop year round, except for the summer, because when you're done with NCAAs, they would give you basically a week off the entire year, and then you start training again for summer competitions. And the summer competitions didn't matter unless it was the Olympics, which is every 4 years. Guess what? Didn't matter. I mean, you have the U.S. Nationals, doesn't matter. If it's not the Olympics, doesn't matter. And if it's not a collegiate sponsored like NCAA event, like SEC championships or your whatever Pac-10 championships or NCAAs, doesn't matter. And if it's not the Olympics, doesn't matter. It's just another meet.
Yeah, there's no prize money. There's nothing. It's just purely for you to swim.
You do
also for people watching. Swimming culture is one of those where it's like, even all of this doesn't matter and doesn't affect anything to do with NCAA, but the culture within a team and the coaching staff is such that like they make you do this out of peer pressure.
Yeah. They're like, well, why don't you want to train all summer? I'm like, because I just trained for 10 months straight and I'm exhausted. Like I have one day off in 10 months. Okay.
Right.
Can I just have like, I don't know, maybe go to the beach with my friends for a week and just not think about swimming? But they didn't understand that.
Yeah.
It's purely go. Why would you take a break? You need to train harder. So
I know, like this isn't football.
Yeah, I'm not an NFL player. I don't have a contract where I'm making $10 million. And if I make the Super Bowl, I get a $2 million bonus. Like this is just purely to make, and what it comes down to is it makes them look better. Right. So it doesn't really matter about you. It's about the coaching and about the team. But so my coaches always wanted me to swim in the summer. And the reason they don't want you to take any time off is because swimming is one of those sports where like, if you take more than a week or two off, I mean, it is very noticeable how out of shape you are. It's really odd, but you get out of shape very quickly and you lose your feel for the water. I don't know. I've never played another sport as seriously swimming, so I don't know what to compare it to, but I'm sure it's similar in other sports.
Well, it's it's an odd sport because you're like in the water. So it's like you don't lose your feel for walking or running. I'm always walking and running.
Right.
But it's like swimming, you'll get out of it and you're like, God, I feel like a jellyfish.
It's a very tactile thing you have to maintain.
Yeah. Like that connection with your hand and the pool and the water is very unique. So in the summer, I took the first summer off my freshman year and they got mad at me because I didn't swim the whole summer. And I came back like so out of shape.
I remember that. Michael came back to swim with us. I was in high school at the time, like swimming on the club team. Michael, he's supposed to be, we were talking about Ian Goss last week. I don't think Michael went to a single practice. I was going to like 2 days with my high school team, basically like the high school club team. And Michael didn't show up to a single one of those. He was living at home doing the same thing as me.
I was burnt out. It's the same thing like being in medicine now. Like these doctors, they're burnt out. And they just want to take like 6 months off just to relax. It's the same concept.
What did you do for 3 months?
I coached. I coached. I was a summer league swim coach, which I mean, you make $3,000 for those 6 weeks. So like I had to make money because if I didn't make money, I couldn't afford college again going forward. So like, I can't, like most of the swim team had their parents providing for them, and they would give them whatever they wanted as long as they would swim and do. I didn't have that. I wasn't fortunate enough to have that. So I had to work in the summer to make money to pay for schooling and stuff and my rent.
Right.
But my coaches didn't understand that.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
So that's what people need to understand too, is that a lot of fringe athletics in the like D1, like outside of football, baseball, basketball, these swimming, equestrian, stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot
Tennis,
of these kids come
golf,
volleyball.
they come from very, very, very well-to-do families, like
Yeah.
very well-off families. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we grew up poor. I want to be clear about that, because there's a huge difference between how we grew up and
Right.
actual like pop. Not saying that at all, but there is another step between where we were and just the ability to literally fund a 19-year-old child's entire life for 4 years ongoing in college and everything that they could possibly need, including like just like paying for their housing, giving them a car, all this stuff. So if you are like fully supported in that way, then yeah, you can just go swim and like not worry about it. But like some student athletes have to actually work and like make some sort of money to survive, because you're not like, you have no money.
Yeah.
They won't let you work.
I was the only one of my friends on the swim team that actually worked while swimming.
I mean, it's unheard of.
Cameron
Cameron-
too, right?
You did a little bit.
He did a little
he
bit.
definitely
Yeah.
worked in the summer. I
He
remember,
did a little bit, yeah. But most of my friends and most of the people on the swim team, they would just get allowances from their parents every month. They would cover
Yeah.
rent and some, their food and expenses and stuff like that.
I remember when seeing the new class coming up with you, the new freshman, when you were like a third year,
Mhm.
and like there were kids driving like BMW M3s. Like
Yeah,
they were
I
like
know.
18-year-old kids, and
I know.
I was like, what?
I'm like, who gives their 18-year-old a M3?
And like Land Rovers, M3s.
always sick
Yeah.
cars.
Yeah.
So, so I had to work. And then that summer I worked because, you make 6 weeks, a coach in a summer league swim team and making $3,000 is pretty good, especially when you only have to show up like 4 or 5 days a week in the morning
Summer league
only.
was the best, man.
Yeah, I loved it. And I love
I
coaching
loved coaching
the
summer
little
league.
kids, and like it's so fun. So I came back though, and I was super out of shape. I also bartended that summer too. So I made a good bit of money in the summer and got to hang out with friends and stuff. So it was good. And I didn't go to any meets because didn't care. Like I didn't care to go to I'm not gonna go to nationals, because at that point in my life, like nationals to me was something to get you into college. It was like the USMLE to get into residency.
Yeah.
Like if you have a national cut, you make good times. It's a very hard thing to even make a cut for. And if you have that, then you could like get a scholarship to college. Did that.
It's actually a good comparison, because think about if you were at medical school and there's no school over the summer, the first like year or two, right?
Yeah,
Like,
first
yeah,
year.
First year, yeah.
So just picture, so you take the USMLE step one, and just picture having to study for step one every summer, just because like your
Just
teachers
because.
wanted you to, and
Yeah.
it didn't matter.
Because they
Like,
wanted
yeah,
you
that's
to
the academic.
Yeah, they wanted you to keep your mind right. I mean, it makes no sense. So
Keep your
I came back out of
full
shape.
Krebs cycle.
I came back out of shape, and they were like kind of pissed off because but the thing is, you literally get back into shape within like the first week or two, so it doesn't really matter, right?
You're a 19-year-old kid. Like you'll be
Yeah,
fine.
I mean, it's just painful for a minute, and then like you're fine.
Also, it's swimming, so it's like
Yeah.
even if I'm
Yeah.
not fine.
So then, so that I wasn't allowed to go home any summer going forward. My coaches banned me from going home because I knew I wasn't going to train.
Which is hilarious in concept, that they can ban you from going home.
Which, in hindsight, I mean, I look
You
back.
could
And I'm
have
like,
just been like, no.
I would have been like, no. But you're young.
I can't go see my family. Like,
Yeah.
who are you?
You'd be like,
So-
okay, I'll see you at practice tomorrow. Psych, I'll never be back.
Yeah, dude.
So-
these guys are so power hungry. It's insane.
You can
Yeah, it's
literally,
insane.
by the way, which is nuts, because you can literally just be like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And they can't.
They have
make you
nothing.
because it's against NCAA rules anyway, because they're
Yeah,
all
like-
voluntary practices.
So the summer is pure voluntary at your own goodwill. You don't have to go to those meets. Nobody forces you to. It's just because your club wants you to.
God,
So
it's
then
so funny. They banned you from going home. And be like,
Yeah.
I'm going wherever I want to go.
they're like, well, this is the last summer you're going home. I was like, whatever. So, I was young. I didn't know any better. So I stayed around. I trained there. And then they were like, well, you're going to have to go to these meets. And I was like, I'm not doing these meets. And they're like, why not? They're like, well, I was like, well, who's paying for them? Because you also have to pay for your because when you're in the summer, you're not swimming for University of Georgia anymore. You're swimming for a club team, which means you have to pay monthly club team dues. And then you have to pay all the fees associated with going to all these meets. Not to mention, like nationals that year was in Irvine, California, had to pay for flights, hotel room, all this stuff. And I was like, I told them, I'm not paying for that. Like, I was like, I'm not going to those meets. And they're like, why not? I'm like, I'm not paying for it.
Because like, where am I supposed to get this money to fly to California? Like and stay there for a week. Out of curiosity.
Yeah, the fact that they were like, why not? Like, how? What are you even talking about? Is all you need to know, because all the other athletes just literally just had a couple of grand laying around.
Dude, if I was a parent and I found out that some coach was asking my kid to pay for all this stuff, I'd be livid.
I know. I would
rip into that fucking.
Now I think back on it and I'm like, I'm so angry about it. Yeah, but like, I'm angry that I didn't like push a little harder. Push a little harder. But you don't know.
You're a kid.
Yeah, you don't know. All I'm thinking of was like, man, I hope they don't take to pay my scholarship. You know what I mean? But realistically, and they were like, but I mean, think about it though. I'm a college kid. If I ask my parents for the meet fees, I mean, you have to pay per race you enter. You have to pay for the whole travel, a flight to California from Georgia, your whole week. You stay there a week, by the way, in California. And I'm like, who can afford this? And and they wanted me to go, and I said, "Well,
I can think of people if I start thinking of people that run the team, but go ahead."
Well, we can afford it. Some names.
Yeah,
we can afford it. And I didn't even approach it to my parents. It's like I knew it wasn't an option. You know, they weren't gonna be like, "Oh."
Could you imagine asking mom for like $3,000 to go to a swim meet in California?
Some exhibition meet. I say exhibition is nationals, but I'm like some meet that doesn't matter because I'm not. That doesn't matter anymore.
God. Mom would be like, I mean, I guess I would if I could, but I can't.
So they were like, we'll figure out a way to pay for it then. I'm like, okay, that's the only way I'll ever swim in any meet is if I don't pay for it, period. Because I'm not paying out of pocket. You know, I already work. I'm already bartending until 2 a.m. and coming here and practice every day. Like, you know, what now you want me to pay for trying to pay my rent. And so yeah, anyways, so in the summer, basically the whole point of this conversation is the summer, we didn't care about summer training at all. We just wanted to have fun. We were college kids. We want to have fun in the summer and go by the pool and like go take beach trips and stuff. And we got really into volleyball, and we would play volleyball. Like we would go to morning practice, and then from like 10 a.m. until like 1 p.m. we would just be out in the sun just playing volleyball nonstop every single day because we loved it. That was like the summer we fell in love with volleyball. We had a court. We had a court at our apartment. I know Tommy plays.
Every week I play.
I love volleyball.
And summertime beach volleyball's coming up.
So we would come to afternoon practices like absolutely obliterated because we're out in the sun for 4 hours, like in the sand. That's hard work. You know? 100-degree heat in the sand playing volleyball, like hard.
It's not like you guys were like, let's just like. I'm sure you're going balls out.
Oh,
just
balls
like
out. And that's already after.
Everything.
Yeah, already after another practice that morning.
Yeah.
We would come in there and like not even be able to do anything, just completely gassed.
All sunned out.
Yeah, and then I know I tell you guys the story before, but so I'll never forget the sprint coaches pulls me out of the water to like yell at me, and he's like, "Why are you guys always so tired?" And I was like, "Because we were playing volleyball all day." He goes, "Do you want to be a swimmer or do you want to be a volleyball player?" And I go, "A volleyball player." And then he kicked me out of practice and sent me to the showers. I was like, all right, I'll go play some volleyball.
Oh my God.
That's so the funny part. They hated us so bad because like when they would kick us out of practice, we would be like, all right, that's fine.
You're perfect. That's what I wanted anyway.
Yeah, I'll go hang out with my friends. Yeah, I don't want to be here.
The best part of that is that guy was like, "Oh, I'm going to get him with this question." Michael's like, "I would 100% rather be a volleyball player."
I would still rather be a volleyball player. Like, if someone's like, "Michael, there's a way you can join the what is it? The UV? What is it? The
VBA? No,
VBA. Volleyball.
AVP.
AVP. Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's some way you could join the AVP right now, I would still do it because that's how freaking fun volleyball is.
Such a fun sport, man.
Yeah. So,
oh God, that's so
he
fun.
didn't like that answer though. Classic. Yeah.
I remember Kit. There's like a summer when I was in college, I became good friends with a lot of the swimmers that like swam with Michael and stuff, just by nature of like splitting the classes. And I was hanging out with Michael and
Shout out Dr. Kit French, dentist.
Yeah, dentist,
Yeah. Dentist
DBN, or
extraordinaire.
not DBN, just kidding. Yeah, I don't even know what the initials are for.
Who's more of a
DMD.
fake doctor, me or Kit, the dentist?
Kit refers to himself as
Yeah.
fake doctor.
Yeah. So I'll
like,
go with
all
Kit.
the time.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you go with Kit? All right.
He'll get Fridays off, and he calls them fake doctor Fridays.
Yeah. Well, that'd be pretty nice.
Well, there's a summer he's literally didn't swim at all, and he I think he hurt his ankle when he was drunk one time. All he did was play beer pong, sit on a thing, and he put on, no joke, like 40 pounds of fat. And he went back to swim, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, why is Kid so fat?" They're like, "He literally didn't do anything all summer but drink beer and eat food." It's so funny.
That's so funny.
God. All right, Jim.
So
What about Sean Ingalls?
I didn't swim in college because I wasn't good enough.
Wait, am I have to cut this out?
No, I don't think so.
Let's not use his last name.
Okay, so there's this kid on my team in high school. His name was Sean, and
It rhymes with pond.
yeah, and he was like he had a rough upbringing. His parents were not like the greatest people, but somehow, some way, this guy was like an amazing swimmer. Like he would just absolutely
So
roll
fast.
people.
Genetically
He
gifted.
was so fast. He was like born with a 6-pack type of dude, like ripped. I have no idea how this has happened because he would just eat tubs of like Duncan Hines frosting behind the blocks all the time. And he would just walk around with a 6-pack. I still to this day don't know how that was possible. But anyway,
Genetics.
so Sean was like Michael on steroids. So Sean was like, he was kind of like a skater. Like he would skate to practice and then skate home. And his parents were like never around. Like he was in the home by himself, raising his brother, sort of thing. Like real rough kind of upbringing. How this leads to swimming, I have no idea. But he was like a great swimmer.
Latchkey kind of stuff.
Yeah. And so he is kind of like a troubled dude. And the coaches, I don't know why, but the coaches were getting onto his butt. This is sometime in like late middle school. I remember this happening. And we swim on club team. Sean's doing his thing in practice, kind of like goofing around because he knows that he can literally destroy everybody in the entire state and it doesn't matter. And he's like goofing off at practice. And the coach is like, gets him out of the water and tries to chew him out. And I stopped at the edge and I didn't keep going for my like interval because I wanted to hear what was going on. Cause I was like, Sean's about to get kicked out and Sean might do something crazy here. And so me and my buddy, I don't know if you remember Seth, we were watching, we were watching, we were like, dude, what's going to happen here? So Sean is getting chewed out. And while he's getting chewed out, he's trying to like empty out his ears and he's just doing this in front of the coach. Like he doesn't care. He's trying to get the water out of his ears. And the coach is like trying to have this like coaching moment. And he's like being a little too like, I don't know, rough and aggressive with it. And he says, Sean, if you keep up acting like this, you're not going to be anything in life. You're just going to be like a whatever. And Sean keeps doing his ears and he's doing his ears. He goes like this. He goes, yeah, well, you're fat. And then he gets on his skateboard and goes home with his Speedo on. He didn't even have a shirt on. He puts a towel around his waist, shirtless, and then just skateboards home after being kicked out of practice.
God, that's
so
funny.
And then like they had to have some sit down with him and talk to his parents. And that was like the first time I ever saw his dad in years of, swimming with the kid.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's funny.
He's sitting there for like, that thing you do.
That's
like,
such
water
not paying attention.
That's such a
so
dick
disrespectful.
Yes,
it's so disrespectful.
Yeah.
Such a high school thing. Why a high school? Like high school, why do you do stuff
High school
like that? in
boys.
High school?
Oh,
Yeah. High school
you
boys
just want to be
are
cool,
there.
man.
Yeah.
And you
just
sort
have,
of
like,
authority, you'd be like, this.
Yeah, that's how I was
Yeah.
too. And we're back. What did you guys do this weekend, by the way? I didn't even know. Did you watch?
I
Masters?
watched B on Sunday. We had a nice day. We just played all day outside and she was super cute. And then she helped me make some smoked chicken and my new Yoder. My Yoder
That looked
pellet
good.
grill came. Yeah. I made some smoked salmon today that was outrageously good.
Yeah, you
Like-
sent a picture of that, and I was like, whoa. Man.
Literally.
That's right
And
in
like
my
you said,
alley.
Tommy, all it takes to make perfect salmon is a $2,700 pellet grill.
it's weird.
That's
how
all. That's all you need.
Yeah,
You
it's just
too.
simple. 1, 2,
With-
3. There goes
built-in-
$2,700. Here comes salmon.
Yeah. Just like they do on infomercials.
Yeah.
Takes all the guesswork out
um,
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. A firm offered me $70 a month for the rest of my life to pay it off.
Affirm. How's their stock doing?
Yeah.
I was so close to investing
I
in
don't
that
know.
company, and then their stock just tanked. Along with like every.
Yeah.
Let me actually look now that
I'm not investing in anything ever again that you show me in a stock because everything you told me to do went down.
Oh, here we
So,
go.
Everything
Here we
went
go.
down.
Everything went down. It says actually, a firm went down from 176 to 26 and is now in the 37 range.
No one cares. And then I worked on Saturday and
Oops.
Saturday, oops, because I was talking, right? So Saturday, I was at work and I diagnosed a couple disc herniations, did a surgery, saw some sick animals, really helped one, I think. And
That's good.
yeah, here I am.
That's good. Tommy?
What did I do?
Probably nothing.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Let me say
now.
Tommy's
no,
name.
we
Woke up at 11.
no, we hung out with remember our toothless friend? We hung out with her.
Yeah.
Her and her husband out in the suburbs on Saturday night. Then yesterday, actually don't. Oh, I went for like a 7-mile walk on Sunday because
Oh,
it was
good
like
for you.
nice. Yeah, it was like nice outside. And so Caitlin, you were our friend Stacy, Jim. You went to dinner with us.
Tommy with the old man approach to fitness.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm
I'm just an old man.
7
So-
miles.
Oh, so long. But do you remember, Jim? You went to dinner with us one time. Our friend Stacy.
Yeah, at the Indian restaurant.
Yeah, Super Kana. And
Yeah,
so-
she was nice. I remember she was cool.
oh yeah, Stacy's the best. She's one of Caitlin's friends from her sorority.
I mean, I don't know if I would characterize her as the best person I've ever seen, but go ahead.
I think Stacy's the best. She's one of our best friends. And Caitlin had to go to a
she was nice.
she's so stupid. Caitlin had to go to a wake on Sunday with it's one of her dad's friends or something like that. So they went to the wake.
Was the person awake?
Yeah. No, not quite. He was the opposite of
okay.
awake.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
He
Jim
was
is
asleep.
just swinging and missing
Yeah.
on these.
Edit all that stuff out.
These jokes are just not hitting
Roots and
tonight.
goots. Yeah.
Man.
So she did that, and so our
Way
friend
off.
Stacy goes for like walks all the time. She was like, "You guys want to go for a walk?" And I was like, "Well, Caitlin's out of town." She was like, "You want to go for a walk?" And I was like, "Nah, sure, why not?" So we walked literally like an entire circle around the north side of the city and came back. My hips and feet were killing me.
I was
after
just
that.
gonna say that I can't like anytime I would go for long walks in Manhattan, I would be dying towards the end. But if I like go for a hike and we were in Hawaii, you can hike all day long. But like street walking like that,
Yeah.
I die.
It's the difference between asphalt and like dirt.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if
man.
it's like your shoes because when you hike,
Yeah,
you're
it's your
like,
shoes. When you hike, you have hiking shoes on.
yeah, it's like
And
I have
that's, like,
shoes
all the
designed for
difference.
this. I'm prepared. I have water. Meanwhile, I had like a coffee and like my crappy shoes I just wear around the house, and it's like,
Right,
oh,
that's
they're
why.
7 miles later.
Were your feet just dying?
Oh, dude, we like
How
made a
many
circle.
steps was that? Like 12,000?
It was like 16,000, 15,000, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And we we made a circle. We came back around. She lives south of us, so she lives right there. There's an Italian ice place. Ooh, freak. And we,
Ooh.
yeah, I know. It's
Getting
so
ready
good.
Italian
for
ice.
that too.
Yeah, it's those Italian
Oh.
ice in Chicago summer. It's the best.
Ooh. Oh
Um,
my God, I miss it so much.
So I dropped when like she went home because we just walked by her house, and then she's like, "Do you want me to drive you home?" And I was like, no, I'll just walk it. Meanwhile, it's another like mile and a half home, and I was like, oh God. And by the
Yeah.
end of it, I was dying.
Yeah, my heels and like my knees, I can't handle. We used to anytime I would walk long periods of time in Manhattan,
Are you too tall to walk?
Yeah. No matter what shoe I would wear,
Yeah.
Jim misses again. No matter what shoe I would wear, I would never be comfortable. Like I would always be in pain towards the end of whatever. Like 50 blocks or more, I'd always be in pain.
Yeah, it's a lot. Do your feet take a beating? I had like
Yeah.
I was probably about a half mile from my house. I got like, you know what snapping hip is, Michael?
Yeah.
It's like it's where you like your glute medius and minimus tendons basically like rub along the outside of your like greater trochanter. And I was like, I took a step and I was like, oh God. I was like, I'm pretty sure that happened to me. I sat on the couch and Caitlin got home and I was like, dude, I can't get off the couch. I'm dying right now. It was harder than my workouts the past like 3 days.
Yeah, it takes it out of you. Speaking of that, Dad's coming up this weekend, so that should be fun. Yeah, that should be fun.
And we're back. Dad's coming this weekend to visit Michael.
Yep, he's coming this weekend. He hasn't been to Jersey before. I'm curious to see how much he likes it. We're gonna show him around, take him to a few Italian spots, and then we're going to head up to Queens for Easter to go to my father-in-law's nice feast, which I'm sure you guys would love, but Dad's going to love it.
Yeah,
Like-
he's gonna freak out about that.
Like legit freak out.
Man. Oh man.
Because that's everything that they eat. They're very similar in their cuisine, the two of them.
Yeah.
And he's just we're going to go to Marinko's first, and then Ordomates.
Madingo?
Yep. And
I
it'll
don't
be
know
fun.
Madingo.
Jimmy, coming to Croatia this summer or what?
I don't think we can.
Big
Good.
place.
Don't want to see you anyway.
Thank you.
That's good.
I think so.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so too.
Are you guys gonna roast the lamb?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
God,
The whole shebang. Dad's gonna be in love.
dude, I want to eat. That's like my dream is come up to Queens with all the Croatians for Easter. I was
You
like,
gotta do it,
oh,
man.
it's like
You
right
gotta
up
do
my
it.
alley.
I can't
I
believe
just gotta
Dad.
convince.
I can't believe he actually can make it up for. Well, I can't believe he's retired, but
He's got nothing but time.
I can't believe it actually worked out where we're going to be able to go up there, which is good because it like gives us something to do, but also he can meet all of their family again. He hasn't seen them in a long time.
Yeah.
No.
And
Are you off
and-
this weekend?
Yeah, I'm off this week.
I mean, I guess
I got to tell you, I love
biopsies.
being a specialist because if anything gets outside the axial skeleton, I am literally just like, nope, somebody else has to do this.
You're right.
Yeah.
The MRI stops right there, and you're like, I don't even know
Yeah.
what's on the other side of this. Full disclosure.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry
Yeah,
about
a
it.
lot of people are like, hey, my dog also just has like ear infections and dental disease. I think you can maybe like do something about that. I'm like, nope.
Not even a little bit.
Not that I
Right.
don't want to. I would love to help. However, I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
I may
guess-
sound smart when I'm talking about epilepsy because that's my tiny
It's your
little
wheelhouse.
subspecialty.
but
Do you
people
think you
have
would?
this-
Oh, sorry. Wayne.
People have this misconception that like stuff that they get done at general practice is also just like more easily done with a specialist of a like totally different thing.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
more.
Well, they're specialists. They just know more. No, it doesn't work like that. What were we gonna say?
I was gonna say, were you ever interested in going into like human procedures or anything like that? Did that ever interest you?
No, they as part of your residency, the ACVIM allows you to do like a couple weeks, like just like kind of shadowing a human neurology, facility or whatever you call it. But I asked my mentor / boss that during my residency, and he was like, absolutely not. He was like, you're gonna be here. I was like, oh, what could I possibly learn?
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure,
Like
I'm sure
what?
there's nothing I can learn from a human neurosurgeon.
Yeah.
about that.
What should I learn from somebody who's 1,000 times better at this than I'll ever be? I don't know.
So it never crossed your mind to be like, that doesn't seem would you have liked it, or you think you'd have been like, whatever?
I would have loved to shadow
Yeah.
a human neurologist because I'm good at the anatomical
Mhm.
stuff, and I'm really
Right.
good at seeing parallels between like how a person and a dog presents with like the way they walk and the way they like. I bet you I could point out like vestibular and cerebellar dysfunction and like
Right.
I don't know if you call it upper motor neuron or if
I
you
think
have a
that's
different
what
word
you use.
for it, but yeah, upper motor neuron versus lower motor neuron stuff and
Yeah.
seeing the
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
Because and I think I would have asked a lot of really good questions that a human neurologist / neurosurgeon probably doesn't get asked by like med students and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
100% you would have.
yeah, because like med students would probably just be like, so what if like steroids don't work? Like that sort of thing.
That is every med student question.
Yeah.
To a T on every
So-
rotation ever.
So like, what if like, do you think this is just like masking the symptoms and that's why they're getting better? No, they're just getting better. Stop asking that. Well, vet students are mostly great. Like the ones I have that shadow me or like around me
Yeah.
are, well, usually they're not of me, but they're just terrified in general. So they're just like frozen in fear. But if I if I extend an olive branch and like explain something to them, they're like, oh wow, like I didn't know that, because
yeah.
I'm coming at it from a clinical perspective, and they're just, the only thing they know is a textbook.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So if I'm explaining like vertigo, let's just call it that, in a dog, and I have a dog in front of me who's coming to see me for vertigo, that's a much easier way to teach somebody about vertigo than to just memorize 3 pages of text
Yeah.
and a
Like, you treat
diagram
with
of your 8th cranial nerve, right?
Yeah, I mean, once you see it once and like in real life, you don't forget it.
That's what did it for me. So that's what got me into neurology, was that once I got into the clinics, I watched one of the residents, shout out Darshan Naravanda, great guy, neurologist in around the DC area. I watched him localize this dog, and he told his owner like exactly where this dog's problem was. He was like, I think your dog's problem is like on this side of the brainstem at this level. And I was like, holy, like, you know all that just by looking at the dog?
Yeah.
And then I would go to internal medicine, and a dog would come in for vomiting, and the internal medicine would list off. I mean, we would have rounds that would last 3 hours talking about all the different causes of vomiting, and nobody had any idea where the vomiting was until you did 5 different tests.
Snoozer.
And even then, you're like, well, we just treat the symptoms and just give it time.
Yeah.
Whereas in neurology, it's like, I know your problem is literally within like 2 centimeters here and here in your brainstem, and we do an MRI and we look right there. That's it.
Yeah.
Like the diagnostic test, there's not a laundry list of diagnostic tests. You just
True.
you get an image of where the problem is. It's a where game. It's not a what. And that's what I liked about it.
An association.
Yeah.
With your clinical findings,
Yeah, because I it was something about the exam. It's like when I watched somebody who knew what they were doing do the exam, I was like, okay, I am getting more information, and I'm able to tell this pet owner more information based on the last 10 minutes of just touching this dog than I see anywhere else in the entire hospital, like in all the different specialties.
Yeah, a menagerie of blood tests that mean nothing. It's like,
we got to do like serial lactates here over the next 24 hours. And
unfortunately, like that whole process of like diagnosing and physical exam and all that stuff is kind of like fading off into oblivion in human medicine.
Oh yeah, human medicine. It's like I mean, as long as you can like generalize the localization, it's like, we'll just get a head MRI. It's like, oh, we see something on that, and we'll get like a temporal bone MRI. And it's like, oh, there we go. Now we have a problem. It's like,
can we fix temporal bone MRIs? Like,
CT. I mean,
CT and MRI. Yeah, we do MRIs, temporal bone MRIs.
How is that different from just a head MRI?
It's just that you get like, it's on like a 3T magnet, and they'll like localize it to like the temporal bone and everything, and you can like
they'll
look
do
at
like they'll
use small slices.
Yeah, and it's really high definition, and they'll like actually slice it in the direction of like the internal auditory canal.
It's like
a cranial nerve 8 protocol and stuff.
There's like a portal.
That's crazy.
Like, they're all like the planes that you image it in. I kind of forgot the name of them. It's like Pirtle, or is like one of them, or something like that.
Oh, I don't
have
know.
You guys seen?
Not a
have
neuro
you
guy.
guys seen what a 7 Tesla MRI looks like?
Yeah, I have.
You had like a 13 Tesla at your residency, right, Michael? Or like 9?
I think I had.
I remember seeing it on the interview when I was interviewing with you.
I think we had a 7. I don't know.
I thought you had a 13.
Maybe we had a 13 or something ridiculous.
It was in your research facility.
What is standard in practice? 1.5?
Yeah, 1.5, 3.
That's like the
3.
workhorse. Yeah.
Okay, so for those that don't know what we're talking about, a Tesla, we're not referring to the automobile manufacturer. A Tesla is the strength of the magnet that an MRI uses, and the higher the Tesla, the higher the strength of the magnet, the faster and the better image quality there is. It's basically what it does.
But
so
it costs more.
And it costs way more. So dude, look at this paper. I pulled this a couple of days ago. This is a 7 Tesla MRI of a dog.
Oh yeah, they look amazing.
Oh my word! Like I could.
I mean the images are incredible.
Look so clean. So clean.
Look at this. You can see just like literally. Oh, here's the white matter. This is it. I mean, you can see that on a regular MRI, but like not like this.
Not as clear.
It's a little different than the quick scan, like 1.5 Teslas that like the patient's moving in, and you're like, I can't see anything on this.
Oh
You're like,
my
what are you?
God.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Look-
A little functional
Look
MRI.
at that. Look at that. Well,
Yeah,
functional,
yeah,
dude.
it's
What we use is
good.
basically Fisher Price compared to this.
Yeah,
I
think
mean that's real deal Holyfield.
Michael, do people know where you went to residency? Can I talk about that?
Yeah, oh
or
yeah.
no?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So at North Carolina,
Public
let me see if
data.
I can- yeah,
I
yeah,
think
North
so.
Carolina, because I was on the interview trail, and then when I interviewed at North Carolina, where your residency was, they like took us to the research facility, and they're like, "Oh, this is like I can't remember if it was 9 or 13, but they're like, this is a 13 Tesla Magnum we use for research, and the the gantry is like this big,
Yeah, super tiny.
and they only use it for like rats because it's
Yeah.
like humans can't even be in like a 13 Tesla magnet.
Yeah,
'cause
it's like
too
not-
strong.
Yeah, it's not like FDA
happens?
approved. I don't know.
I
They
can't
don't know.
remember. Yeah, but it's like humans literally, and like they can't even make the gantry big enough to like fit a human in it. So it's like purely for research. But I was like, dude, it was
The
in this like huge
electromagnetic
warehouse
force
too.
is too much for human.
Yeah.
Well, I think they
This
just
is-
don't know what it'll do to a human, so or at least they don't know
I mean,
yet. I don't know.
it doesn't do anything to a dog. So
Well, I mean, I guess we don't know like the long-term effects of it, really. You know, it's the same thing. Like so, like when we do MRIs,
I mean, there's no radiation. So what is it going to do?
well, we don't know. We don't have long-term data on it. So like we have to consent every pregnant patient.
Why don't
that
you just get some?
do your research? Like every pregnant patient has to be consented prior to getting an MRI. Because we don't have any long-term data on what can happen to the fetus. Like for everything we know, we think it's safe, but we just don't have any like long-term data on it. So we can't, conclusively say
where is
that.
it? I wish we had a picture of it. Well, I remember we walked into like the control room. And they showed it to us, which is funny because it's
I remember
like a med student. Yeah, as a med student, they show you it on a residency. It's like, if I go here, I literally will never see this ever again. It's
It's like
they always do
bolted
that.
to
They
the
show you
floor.
they show you the scanners in the back. Look at our scanners. You're like, I mean, they're the same everywhere in the country. It's
I know.
like
I
pretty
know.
standard.
I never understood why we did that.
No, I used
like
to take. I
radiology.
used to do the tours at ours and be
Same.
like, I'd be like, I'm not showing you a CT scanner. Like, you know what a CT scanner looks like.
Yeah.
Also, that's where
Like-
the patient goes. You don't go there.
Yeah.
Like occasionally you'll go there, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. On a similar but different note, Jim, can you pull
What's
up? I just saw like probably 2 hours ago that Gilbert Godfried died.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I didn't know if you saw that.
No.
Yeah,
And
it just
I-
happened. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like 2 hours ago, and I think it was from complications of like muscular dystrophy. I don't even know he had a medical problems.
Really?
Yeah.
But
Oh,
pull it up, Jim.
no.
I wanted you to see if you pull it up. He's a classic comedian,
He's so funny, man.
long-term comedian. Been around the block for
Dude,
a long
how many
time.
freaking comedians are going to die in the last year?
It's
I don't
literally
know.
it's like there's some pictures like Bob Saget, Norm, and Godfried.
This
Gilbert
year,
Godfried. Yeah.
He succumbed to a
Yeah,
heart
my-
abnormality called recurrent ventricular tachycardia and arrhythmia
Yeah.
caused by myotonic dystrophy type 2. Wow.
Oh man.
So what is myotonic dystrophy? A genetic
Is that
disorder
the-
of progressive muscle wasting. I didn't know he had that.
Wow.
Is that the new like term for? God, I can't even. God, this is how
higher
bad
I
it
know.
is when you're-
I haven't thought of this stuff in a very long time.
It's in step 1 or step 3.
So he
I
goes
don't-
in and out of VTAC, which is
wow.
obviously not good.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, wow.
a deadly arrhythmia.
Oh my
So
gosh.
if you, for those who don't know, if you sustain ventricular tachycardia, that's a very lethal arrhythmia.
I
That's
can't believe
basically
they had all these long-term illnesses.
wow.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald had leukemia
Yeah, he
Yeah.
had it going on for a while.
for decades.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
He told his manager like right before he didn't tell anybody that he was like really like about to pass.
Yeah.
But one of his last conversations with his manager was complaining about something like having to do with like touring, and he told his manager, he goes, "Yeah, well, you know what's worse? Blood cancer." And that's all he said. That was his way of like letting him know, like, "Hey, I'm about to die."
Yeah.
Norm
Wow.
was so funny, man.
Funniest
He
human
is
being
funny.
that ever lived.
So
But-
funny.
Yeah, but I can't believe that though. So Gilbert Godfried. So myotonic dystrophy.
That's so
I haven't thought of this
sad.
in a while. I just looked up some-
Myotonic, not myoclonic.
Oh,
There's a
sorry,
big
sorry.
difference.
Yeah, big difference. Sorry. Myotonic dystrophy can occur at any age. Symptoms usually include muscle weakness in the face, hands, or legs. In severe cases, people can experience respiratory weakness, or abnormal heartbeat. So there you go. Wow.
Is there radiology finding for this? No.
I don't think so. I think you just like muscle biopsy it, right?
You know what I always think of as
muscular dystrophy.
like
That's
central,
so crazy.
central
'cause
nuclear palsy,
Oh yeah.
where you get the like hummingbird look.
So it says the life expectancy of someone with myotonic dystrophy, we found a median survival of 59 to 60 years for the
Or
adult type.
supranuclear palsy. Duh.
Wow,
Or 35 years for the congenital type. So wow, I wonder when they diagnosed him with this.
that's so sad.
It really is. He was hilarious. He was so unique. His voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, that's
The whole
crazy.
the friggin' Aflac duck.
Yeah. Forever. So yeah, that was crazy news I saw before hopping on here.
That's
Yeah.
so sad.
I noticed that too. It's kind of weird that all these comedians or even like famous people, Chadwick Boseman had like colon cancer for years and literally no one knew about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. He had colon cancer for like 4 years when he was filming like Black Panther and all that stuff. And then he passed away and everyone was like, what? And then he's
Oh
like,
yeah, he
he's
did
been
die
doing-"
like all of a sudden, right? I didn't watch the Black
Yeah.
Panther movie, so I didn't know. You guys love those, no?
Black Panther was good. The special effects were an atrocity, but the movie was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that
The acting
similar
was
to
really
like
good.
the Marvel Avengers type movies, or is it? I know
Well, it's
nothing.
a
about
Marvel movie. It's a
Yeah,
Marvel
it is?
movie.
He's
Okay.
one of the Avengers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
What's the bad guy that Michael B. Jordan played?
Eric Killmonger.
Killmonger. There you go. I was like, I knew it
course.
was some sort of combination of kill
course.
and death and a
Yeah.
person that does those things.
Yeah, Eric, I kill people.
Killmonger.
He's the
Um,
fishmonger of killing people.
So
I would like to kill you, but
had
my first
something I
name
was-
is Eric.
I had something I was gonna say about Gilbert Godfried. I forgot what I was gonna say.
It probably wasn't anything of substance because you don't say
Probably
anything
not.
of substance.
Yeah, probably not. Probably
Why
not.
doctors are quitting?
I do one video, and this guy
He-
mentions that
he
every
globs onto it
podcast.
for years.
I
Yeah.
know.
Why doctors aren't paid enough?
Yeah, again, one video.
Yeah,
You just
they
never
aren't.
cite my whole catalog.
Yeah.
Keep
That's
going.
me the
It's
Why-
good.
The next episode.
The last video is called "Why I Suck," Dr. Cellini.
Oh,
Farewell.
swing and a miss.
God, that's rough. Too bad his
Blowing
internet.
outside, ball one.
Too bad his internet didn't cut out.
I know. Do we have a vet corner or anything before we end this dreadful podcast?
Oh God.
I think the vet corner should be me staring at the corner because I pretty much
Yeah,
dragged
I
this
think so
entire thing
too.
down.
2 weeks in a row. At least you were actually present this time.
Yeah,
That was good.
Yeah,
it's nice.
I'm present, man.
This is Jim last time.
Present.
What was he
Yeah.
doing last time? He was like reading a book.
Oh,
with-
something stupid.
I wasn't
Yeah.
reading a book.
Idiot.
Yeah, he said he was doing his taxes. On a side note, did you see what happened in New York today?
Oh, the
No.
shooting thing?
Yeah.
the
So
shooting. Yeah, I saw that.
like some guy, they don't even know the whole story on it. I don't know yet, but in classic New York fashion, the cameras in that subway station were down. Go
Well,
figure.
of course.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the most New York thing ever. I mean,
Yeah.
New York
You mean
subway
all
thing
the
ever.
cameras?
Yeah, those
Yeah.
cameras they look like they're from 1900s. Like, no surprise they don't work.
Yeah.
And they were down.
I mean, like
some-
1999 would be a year where a camera would work. You said they were from the 1900s. Like, cameras worked in the 1900s.
Oh, okay. All right, Michael, continue your story, please.
You want to
Isn't
edit
it-
this out?
Does anybody get that?
I want to edit all your parts out.
You can edit everything I do.
Jeez.
It'll just be me and Michael talking, and then every time Jim chimes in, it's just a black screen over
Please.
the
I'm just gonna
Oh,
do that
yeah.
for the first like 10 minutes, see if he notices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some guy like he threw in a smoke grenade or something that like obviously caused a ruckus, and then he just started
Yeah.
shooting people. And then they
Okay.
still can't find
Nice.
him. He's gone.
Wait, they can't find him?
Oh wait, did they find him?
Because the smoke grenade.
Hold on a sec. They what? This just in. And John says they know who it is, but they haven't found him yet.
Good Lord.
So
I mean, who does something like that?
What is
I mean,
Andriana doing?
nothing. She went shopping. She went to Home
Tell her to
Goods.
come say hi. Tell her to come say hi on the podcast.
They come say hi and send us out.
Yeah, Andriana can send us on our way.
Come
do you
send
want
us
to do a
out on
vet
the
corner?
podcast. Oh yeah, do you have a vet corner?
Yeah, I was going to do a vet corner. My vet corner today is basically, if you get a dog, I want you to do one of two things. One, make sure you have $10,000 set aside for an emergency
Nice.
Facts.
in a money market account.
Number two,
What's
teach you
that?
how to walk. Teach you how to walk
Teach you
on a
how to
leash.
walk.
On a leash.
Well, yeah, I mean that's true.
That's my
too.
biggest
But if you-
pet peeve of all time.
If you want to get a dog, you need to have money set aside or have access to liquid cash up to $10,000 to cover like a serious emergency. Like you need to have that, or you need to get insurance that covers it. But if you get insurance that covers it, you're still going to have to shell out the money up front, and then insurance reimburses you. So just please keep that in mind. If the best thing to do is, like I said, just keep your own money and not pay insurance, so you just have it on hand. But if you don't have access to $10,000 cash, which again a lot of people don't understand that, get please, for the love of God, get insurance on your dog, because you don't know. I don't care what your breeder told you. I don't care what the breed itself you found researching, is like, oh, this is super healthy breed. Doesn't matter. Like, get insurance on your dog, because the cost of vet care is insane and it's all out of pocket. So that is my vet corner question.
That's a good way to end it. That's a
Yes.
good as a vet question statement.
That's a vet question statement.
Why don't you do a video
Please
on that,
get
Jim?
Insurance.
You should do 3 things you must get before owning a dog.
Okay, I'll do that.
I just gave you a video idea. That's huge.
3 things you must get before owning a dog. Got
Yes,
it.
you must do.
Good
Look
job,
at that.
Adam.
Write that down. Your own vet corner is going to be your best video on your channel.
Will
If you don't freeze.
Yeah.
do that.
This is a vet corner. I'm gonna do that. Picture as the thumbnail, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
as he's frozen.
Yeah, as he's frozen, and then I'm gonna put like freezing icicles across his face.
Like, this is Jim the whole video. All right, let's go ahead and send this podcast out while Jim's frozen, so he can't say anything. Oh, he unfroze. Oh, that's unfortunate.
I mean, he's picking at his head too. What is this guy
No, I'm
doing?
back.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Guys,
I was frozen. I took the opportunity to pick at some mysterious blob on my head.
you loser.
I didn't think you'd be able to say it. Michael,
right.
is this what you envisioned when you told people that you were going to do a podcast with your brothers?
This is my nightmare.
Michael, why don't you do any live streams anymore?
I just don't have time to.
Is
I haven't done it.
Oh, is it because
I
you
was-
suck?
I was waiting for the whiff.
Yeah.
That's
The
not a
swing
whip.
of
That
this-
was a home. That was a grand slam.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to end this podcast. If I have to listen to one more of his delays on his garbage internet, I'm going to lose it. So I'll go ahead and end this. Jim, don't say another word. And this is officially concludes episode number 9. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to this channel. We really need your help to
Please.
get those subscribers up. We did about 1 per day.
This will be a strongly
so
edited
slow.
episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our subscriber count is slower than Jim's internet. So please subscribe so Jim can.
I'll pause the podcast.
Yeah.
Please subscribe so Jim can afford some more internet.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Please.
So he can get
Uh,
Starlink.
Please.
Yeah.
He gets Starlink over his
Ooh.
house. All right. Otherwise, we'll see you all on the next episode number 10. Have a good evening,
Guys, the
everybody.
Cellini Rounds podcast.
I promise we'll get better.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. All right. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
All
Bye,
right.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.